going to define, my future. I'm going to make the best of it. And, with this powerful force that I had inside of me, and of course the prayer warriors beside me.
You understand? 99 FM, your inspiration station. It is Sibo and Mo, but Mo's taking a back seat for this one because girls are taking over. Women are taking over the world. I mean, we have, guys, it's not a new thing. We already run the world. So we just didn't want to give you guys the but now the title, we're owning it as well. So here on Royal Hustler this beautiful Thursday, we have Tasneem Klazen, who is the senior brand manager at NBL. She graduated from the University of Science and Technology, then known as Polytechnic of Namibia, with a bachelor's degree in marketing. She's also received performance awards for best student in marketing for 4 consecutive years, back to back. That's consecutive. Just not letting other people breathe. She's like, I got this. Was also best overall student as well as best research project in the Department of Marketing. She is the current senior brand manager at Namibia Breweries Limited, like I said, and with just under a decade of experience building local and international brands in the FMCG industry. And she actually says she's most enthusiastic about creating memorable experience that are really, really enduring. So before we get to how she got into the marketing and creative space and how she's making a mark, in building brands, I want to hear a little bit about you, Tasneem, about how the kind of, you have munchkins now of yourself. I know you're a mom of 2. So how were you as a child?
Thanks so much, Sibo, for having me this morning. I'm really excited to be here. So really, I'm a city girl, born and bred in Windhoek. I am the second youngest of 6 children.
Okay.
So I've got 3 older brothers that obviously have been very protective of me, an older sister that I could look up to, and a younger brother that I could be a role model for.
All right.
Really also a matriarch of women in my life that really shaped my childhood. Strong prayer warriors, and these are really my mother, my sister, my aunt, and my grandmother.
Essentially being the middle child, was that a bit shaky for you, or you just took it in your stride?
I took it, I ran with it.
Yes.
And luckily I had my younger brother to keep me busy.
That is so nice, actually. It's really, really nice. And growing up, what was your biggest dream? What did you aspire to be? Was it always marketing, or you're like teetering between becoming a doctor, a geologist, or anything of that sort?
So really, when I started to, my latest memory, earliest memory of what I wanted to become, growing up, grade 11, grade 12, I really wanted to move into the space of travel. I really wanted to see the world, explore, and travel. So really, I wanted to become an au pair or a flight attendant.
Girl, glad.
That was really close to my heart. Yeah. And you know what? I applied to the Polytechnic as my first choice being hospitality and tourism, and my second choice being marketing. So funny enough, I got accepted for marketing, and today I'm absolutely happy about that. I really enjoy what I do, and guess what? I get to travel extensively, both locally and internationally. So really, it all worked out.
It really, really did work out. How was that experience like, being at the time Polytechnic of Namibia and being exposed to the marketing, field? Because it's not something that everybody gets to know about, especially earlier on at Polytechnic. Was that a great experience for you? Yeah. Did it really just cement that, okay, this is where I'm meant to be? Or how some students are, I'm just going to do this for 2 years and then I'll change my major later on.
No, definitely something that I went for, not sure at the time what this marketing thing is all about, but I absolutely loved it. I really, really enjoyed it so much. And if I could just speak around, some of the influences that I had, while studying.
Yes.
I think a really big one for me was my son. So in my first year of university, I fell pregnant with my son. So you can already imagine the shame and the ridicule that I had to face from society. And as a young 19-year-old woman, I was faced with a lot of important decisions that I had to make. But you know what? I decided that my circumstances are not going to define, my future. I'm going to make the best of it. And, with this powerful force that I had inside of me, and of course the prayer warriors beside me,
you understand?
I pushed through. And I finished my 4-year course. Like you mentioned, each year I was really at the top of my class.
Game, yeah.
And I ended my 4-year bachelor's degree as the overall best student in marketing in the year of 2013.
That is so impressive, because a lot of times something like that happens and then you just like, I can't do school, it's too stressful, and understandably so. So I want to circle circle back to that and how you managed to stay motivated through it all. So we're going to go to NERD with Rihanna saying Lemon. 99 FM, it's still your royal hustler, Tasneem Klazen, Senior Brand Manager at Namibia Breweries Limited. Off air, we were talking about, the support structure that she had, especially, falling pregnant in just your first year of marketing. And Tasneem, I just want you to highlight that on air, how you managed to get through because you had a great support system.
Yeah. So I think really what got me through was, like I mentioned, the matriarch of women that I had behind me. My mother, my grandmother, my aunt, my sister, and of course my son's father that was there throughout it all.
That's so
I'm
beautiful.
married to him today. So
Yes,
really
King.
that really, really great support system that I had is what pushed me through. And I think the blessing that I got from my son, from God directly, it really was a big blessing, and I took it and I embraced it.
Yes. Just tell us, because I know it right now that we're talking about, it's like, oh man, she managed, but what were some of the difficulties and obstacles you had to really overcome and mentally prepare yourself for, pray over even, and just go, hi, no, here, Lord, if you do not help me here.
Yeah.
And then how you managed to overcome that.
Yeah. So Sibo, really speaking again towards, being pregnant in while studying, I remember, my mother dropping me off at the library and me, sprinting from the car to the library just so no one sees me. And I literally sat in that library from 8 to like 5 or 6 in the evening just studying. I literally just thought, listen guys, I'm going to take this and I'm going to... It really took my mind off it, to be honest. It took my mind off the situation and I made the best out of it, really just deep diving into my studies. And that's really how I managed.
And now you're building brands.
I'm building brands.
Some of the highlights that you can share with us?
Wow, where could I start? I think, one of the big things that motivates me and that gets me up in the morning is being able to create impactful and meaningful experiences. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a career path and to work for a company that allows me to do just that. I work with amazing brands, Windhoek Draft, Windhoek Lager, and some of the really iconic stuff that I've managed and experiences that I've managed to create was, for example, the multi-concert with award-winning artist Gaza.
That was top.
Where we brought Namibia, a first of its kind, 5 concerts in one night. I can even think of, the recent campaign we had where we gave away Polo GTI. So,
Winner!
I'm telling you, taking an iconic brand like Windhoek Draft, linking it with Volkswagen, and really giving back to consumers and adding value to their lives. So that's really what gets me up.
And I'm also very curious about your social responsibility projects that you guys have there. Has there been any projects that you have fallen in love with?
Really, a lot of projects. I think... if I can think of something outside of, social responsibility, I think just the relationship that I've built over the years with Gaza, which is our brand ambassador. Really a strong relationship, amazing projects that the two brands could come together and create for consumers. Really passionate, something that I really enjoy doing.
I want to touch a little bit more on your personal life. We've already mentioned your beautiful son that you had at 19, and the Munchkin, who's turning 3 soon, and your husband. How has your family unit been, your source of anchor?
Yeah. So really I think the biggest reason why I get up in the morning is my family.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore them and I live for my family. My husband, he was my high school sweetheart.
Really?
Yes. And together we've got 2 beautiful kids, my 12-year-old son, our 3-year-old daughter. And really, I got married right after university. I think I had like 2 years that I worked. Then we got married. Then we had our daughter. We bought a house together. So really good stuff, and it's what I live for.
Today on Sibo and Mo, it's Thirsty Thursday, and we've been talking about attachment styles and the like. And I just wanted to find out from you, what is your favorite part about your marriage and the partnership that you have with your husband?
Yeah. So my favorite part of my marriage and of my husband is the fact that he He plays all roles.
Wow.
Literally, he gets up in the morning to take my son to school. He, this morning and every other morning, takes my daughter to school, packs the school bags, and he literally does the most. There's no limit to what he does, and there's no, you're a woman and this is what you do, and vice versa. You know, I would do stuff that he would do, and yeah, that's
Did you
really
get
how
him anything good for Valentine's, girl?
This year I decided to sit back and allow him, to spoil me. But you know what? I really made an effort at least to just share with him, the reasons why I love him, and I think that's most important.
Shout out to Mr. Klazen. Shout out to him. Before I let you go, there are people listening in right now that says, you know what? I want to get into this field of marketing, but I don't know how to navigate it. So what career or even life advice that you would like to share with our listeners?
I think life advice I can give is definitely the importance of understanding that there's purpose in pain. If I can take the example of my life that I just shared, in going backwards is what drove me forward. Had it not been for my son, I would not have been the woman that I am today. And it's really funny how God doesn't allow us to choose the tool that he uses to shape our lives. But it's important to always understand and to go through the motion, to embrace challenges, because there's always a rainbow at the end of the storm.
There truly is. Thank you so much, Tasneem, for coming.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you. Oh man, that hit home. There is purpose in pain. Tasneem Klazen, Senior Brand Manager at Namibia Breweries Limited. And that was our Royal Hustler for this morning.
Royal Hustlers was proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation.
Good today, better tomorrow.